Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello everyone and welcome back to VALORANT Game Changer Series 1 presented by Verizon. It's been a long day, but we still have some more VALORANT because now it's time to head to our lower finals to find out who is going to be making their way into the grand finals tomorrow between Shopify Rebellion and XSET. And this is a revenge run for both of these teams because Shopify, they just got recently knocked down here. They're looking to be making their way back up into the grand finals, have another crack at V1 here, whereas XSET, well, they're going up against the team bot that actually knocked them down into this lower bracket in the first place.
And it's been a difficult lower bracket run as well, having to start from the very first round, beating Misfits, beating Complexity, now beating Moist as well. All of those without dropping a map, I might add. They struggled against Shopify in their opener, maybe a little bit of the first match, just willies, just not able to get into the game a little bit. Everyone talks about the jitters they sometimes get coming into an opening series. I think there is certainly a world where that was what was going on. But at the same point in time, Shopify is an incredibly talented team. So I think that Shopify came out of the gate swinging, and that's what people expected from this roster. So yes, you have those two narratives. You have a Shopify who very much wants to prove, hey, we didn't play well against V1. V1 looked really good. We need to prove that we're a much better team than maybe that result indicated. And XSET's saying the same thing, but to Shopify. They need to say, hey, we are a better team than what that first match says. Even their coach said it. He said, we did not play well in that first series. That's on us. He's saying they didn't beat us. We beat ourselves.
Yeah, if you look back at like the narrative over the last couple of years of game changers, it's always like, okay, as soon as Shopify, I think once it was that Cloud9 White gets knocked down to the lower bracket, and the conversation was like, okay, no problem, they're going to be back into the finals. But I think this is one of the first times that we're coming into this and we're seeing this really exciting lower bracket team that's looking hot right now as they challenge Shopify for that grand final spot.
And this is Sonder, who played fantastic in their opening series against XSET. You can see the stats right there, 291 ACS, 1.36 KD, first kills and first deaths, 7-4. I want to frame this up, and it's because of the fact that Sonder had a really rough game earlier today against V1. I don't put that all on the back of Sonder. That was a very difficult series. I don't think anyone really particularly played well for Shopify Rebellion, but now that they're getting into comfortable territory against an opponent they've already beaten once, there's a possibility that Sonder could easily return to the same form we saw in that opening series where they were able to crush XSET.
Yeah, I mean, I was there in person, sitting in the front row when Sonder popped off against players like Katsumi, like Bob, in the semifinals, I think, of the World Championship. So we know Sonder can do it. Like, she has absolutely what it takes to come back and play her best in this next series.
100%. Even looking at earlier series that we got, the XSET one, the Genius match, I mean, it was incredible what Sonder was able to be doing up against these other teams. So you can see her in this form going up against XSET. XSET might have a hell of a time, but hey, XSET has been on a tear themselves. It's so interesting because this team in a couple of ways is so unconventional. Just talking to Danimal earlier, talking to Bryce yesterday, fact that there's not the strats. Instead, they just focus on the fundamentals. They have their defaults. They capitalize off opponents' mistakes. Might be a little bit weird, but hey, Bach, it is working for them.
It's working, but it's definitely confusing. I don't know how you can say we don't have any strats. I'm all for focusing on fundamentals. I think fundamentals are important, but it's a bold call to say they don't have any strats. I would say they probably have some things they've cooked up, but they don't rely on them maybe the same way that other teams do. They don't have the same amount of set pieces. It's more like a like a read, basically reacting to what your opponent's going to do. So it's an interesting style of play. It's not something we hear a lot of teams come out and say, but there are teams who do that. Looking at the play from the previous match versus the rest of the playoffs, you can see how maybe that style of play is working out. They mentioned, oh, we just let our players play the roles they like and we kind of swap things around a little bit. Maybe taking that a little more seriously the last few matches, you've seen them adapt their agent play as they've changed compositions over just the last few maps of play. And look at the impact it has. This is Rise in the previous series, top performing compared to Rise the rest of the playoffs. Rise had a fantastic series. And even though you could still argue that maybe they're getting a little more fluid with those roles and letting people play what they want to play, Rise in that position felt fantastic. Playing a role that they play across every map, it just seemed to click.
Yeah, and Mimi said it, I think during the last match, like Rise is just not getting enough credit for how solid of a player she's been over the last years. She's been in the grand final spot before when she was on CLG Red. Played, I think it was in 4th place last year. Like she's been here before and not getting the credit, but like now the stats are starting to show for themselves. You can't deny it anymore. Rise is a top player in this competition.
She's on the rise. Stuff that we love to see, but we'll need everyone from XSET to be stepping up because this is, might I remind everyone, a rematch. And the first time around, things were a little bit rough for XSET, and we just got to hear it in the interview from the coach himself. Going up against Shopify this time around, gonna be a little bit of a different story. Talking about how just going to mop them. And last time around, well, Bach, XSET were certainly the ones that got mopped.
Yeah, it was not a good series from them the last time around. You can see the quote back there. We're going to mop them. I mean, that's confident for sure. Very confident coming in. Last time they played Split, Icebox, Lotus would have been the decider should they need it. That didn't end up happening. Split went the way of Shopify pretty easily, as did Icebox. So I'm anticipating a slightly different map pool today, just based on the fact that we saw them play a few different maps more recently. I think that after the Icebox series, they're probably not going to want to return to Icebox moving forward. It's just not a map that seems to play to their strengths. So I anticipate XSET staying away from that. Might be one of their early bans coming into this one as well.
Yeah, and the fact that we do get this rematch and something that was so recency, and the fact that the things were kind of a little rough last time around for XSET. Of course, every time that we get to see XSET play, they've been leveling up a little bit more because there's a lot of teams that had changes coming into this year, into this season. So being able to see a little bit more and more going on forward, I'm certainly excited for. And I'm excited for a new look coming out, hopefully in terms of maps and stuff that we have going on forward, because that's where all good refreshes need to happen, where we need to see teams make this adjustment. And right off of the gate, we got to see how strong XSET were on Pearl before, and hopefully we'll get to see it again.
Yeah, this is really interesting to me. So Fracture has historically been an insta-ban for XSET. Hardly play it. I think it's been a year and there wasn't even the same players at that point. So they saw that they struggled on that Icebox and decided to ban that instead. Obviously taking it to their comfort pick, which is Pearl. They are undefeated on that map throughout this tournament. They have that really unique composition with the Phoenix. Apparently they don't have strats. They just play what they're super comfortable with. And then we head over to Fracture, which is a map that Shopify they got mopped on version against version 1 earlier today.
I don't think this is a particularly good pick for Shopify Rebellion. I think it's just recognizing the fact that you can't have that softball lobbed up to you and not try to crush it out of the park. XSET make maybe a bit of a mistake leaving their permaban in the map pool, thinking that possibly Shopify's not going to play it because they also just got crushed by V1, maybe anticipating that will make it through into the second ban phase. So as a result, they leave it, and Shopify's like, well, okay, we have no problem picking this one. And the first map in the series is Pearl. Not surprising at all. XSET really likes the map. They have a bit of an absurd composition with the Phoenix play coming in, something we don't see a lot of teams do. We touched upon that previously. Even Danimal, the coach, said this is one of our best maps. We've been destroying everybody on it. Shopify Rebellion is 3-0 on the map, and they have pretty good win rates as well. 73% on the attack, 64% on the defense. It's not exactly a weak map for them in the pool either. So I don't think this map pool really plays too poorly to XSET, but it does play pretty well for Shopify Rebellion. Should we go to Lotus, that's where things get really interesting because we haven't really seen either team play a boatload of Lotus. Shopify Rebellion have played it twice. They've won both times. XSET's played it once. They won it. There was a couple of times where it would have been the third map, but it never ended up happening. I think it's a map that both teams feel comfortable on as a third map. They might not necessarily pick it, but they don't mind playing it.
I'm just a pretty big fan of the map pool all together, not necessarily in favor of any team, but for entertainment value, because being able to see XSET's now first look over on Fracture in our Game Changer scope will be really interesting to see what they have cooking up, because the fact that it's been banned up until now, but going to be at least confident enough to let it through, regardless of the circumstance that led them to letting it through in the first place with not feeling that great on the icebox. Should definitely be interesting, but we'll have to see if they can get all that momentum going over on Pearl, because, I mean, we heard in the interview, we got to see it earlier, Sapphire. Pearl just looks so good for them. Like, the confidence oozing from all the players on that map.
Yeah, I still am remembering that final play from Bunny B that is just somehow as a defender in attacker spawn, ulting and randomly getting an ace to close the map. So yeah, it's certainly a map where individually they have all the pieces working. I think, you know, going into Pearl yesterday, I think we talked about, okay, clearly they have a plan with these agents that, you know, they come prepared with this, but you know what we heard from Ryza, heard from Danimal, it's just playing those individual agents really well, knowing your teammates, knowing how to work off them.
It's going to be such a fun time to see how Shopify Rebellion stand up to the strength that XSET has over on Pearl. We're going to be taking a quick break. Before we hop into that, though, build up a little bit of suspense, but be back soon for our first map here in our lower finals. The lower finals are just ahead of us as XSET and Shopify Rebellion both looking to fight their way into the grand finals to be taking on V1 tomorrow. We know where we're going for map number 1 over on Pearl. And Bach, it's time to see what players are deciding to be bringing out, considering that we've got to see XSET on this pretty recently. We already know we're going to see that Phoenix.
Yeah, we shouldn't see a major swap in roles coming in from XSET. It would be kind of surprising, especially considering the confidence they have coming into this one. What I am curious to see is if we're going to get the Harbor play coming in from KP. That's what we saw from them the last time they played this map, although that goes back to the qualifiers, and that's what we're going to get. So we're getting the same comp here coming in from Shopify Rebellion. We've seen some teams run this setup. We've seen players go with the Harbor pick on this map. I think it plays really nicely with Viper. Something I've been kind of saying in the past is those two together make like a really good complete controller setup, whereas one without the other maybe feels a little bit weak on the map. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table with the Harbor.
It was a pick that XSET had earlier on and moved away from, so I'm excited to see one of the teams bringing it out as we're ready to head into map number 1. So it's time to throw it over to the duo, Vance and Riv, to get us started.
Thank you so much, our friends at the desk here. Riv, you look amazing. I think you look like a bobblehead.
Thank you. Thank you. I have manifested myself into a library here to cast this game and bring everything we can and deliver it to the brains of the viewers here. It's going to be a fantastic one.
It's like you're popping outside of the books.
I'm feeling ethereal right now, I'm telling you.
Nonetheless, yes, this is a revenge match here between Shopify Rebellion and XSET. Started things off on Pearl. And yeah, I'm very, very intrigued about this matchup right here because we are, you know, the whole desk storyline is really around like this whole confidence play that XSET is bringing to the table in this series where Danimal was literally saying, hey, we're not really running through strats, we're running through fundamentals. But if I want to read between the lines, I almost feel this is kind of like what even Potter was doing with EG in the first place when you're looking at the rookies that joined the roster. Stick to the fundamentals, make that work out, but it does add a lot of stress to like a newly IGL such as Bob that's going to have to think on the fly a lot.
Right, you're looking for comms, trying to main a lot of that, while still trying to do Bob things, which is so spectacular. So I don't know, that's a different level, but you're right. Sometimes that can do really well. And if you look at the other side, sometimes it can fall flat if a team really is protocoled and drilled to be able to hold positions and just shut down some fundamentals. Pushing towards mid, it's really slow for this beginning round here. A lot of Valorant has been played by these two teams.
Oh, yeah.
And they reach into the tank for the last probably 3 maps, if I had to guess. They will go the whole way. They're going to be walking into the Killjoy utility to start things off here. The majority is going to have the A flank towards the orb. They don't pick it up just yet to play all the audio cues safely and just go for the contact here.
We're just really walking back and forth, not even grabbing an orb, not even making any sound. Contact play across the map here for XSET. Passive play for Shopify Rebellion on the release of everything that's going to be coming up on the A site.
Almost.
30 seconds left.
running in. First blood drawn by Flowerful as Bunnybee was trying to run through a snakebite left on the ground. Starts the execution for an exit into the site with 17 seconds on the clock. He has to commit. And that's Benita scoring up with 3. The trap play or the contact play just did not work out in the get-go.
Yeah, Shopify Rebellion as well, 2 on that A site for the majority of the round, and kind of started to get that lean on understanding what was happening on the other side of the map. And instantly, Benita's the one that's there, who you expect to be playing that B site to deliver the pain. So keep an eye on how Shopify is reading the map, where these guiding lights are going towards the mid-round, so they can get these rotates on that we just saw, making that a little safer for them to commit to what XSET is actually going to be doing there.
Scanning
really
ahead.
Nice to take it back onto the site. B start here. The Bard part will fall. They all start to join over here. Sonder with a good start. There's still a flank on the outside. Panday lurking around. This could be a big hit in the round if they can actually get something from it. Flower will fall. Gonna work this Marshall from now, though.
Exactly. By the way, sorry for the mic chat. Should be fixed now. But yeah, Saunders switching out from a role into this Game Changers, out from a Neon into this one. We remember the highlight reel that she brought to the table at Champions in Berlin. Shocking with the overdrive, getting the ace into it against G2, but now going into the Jet, changing the meta, changing the strats, working behind the scenes for Shopify Rebellion to get ready to basically try to be the #1 team in North America. Overshadowed before by some of these players into XSET.
Spike down mid.
Being Bob and Katsumi. So they're kind of like the first boss until the final boss to refight against the other members of the Cloud9 roster in the grand finals if they win this series against XSET.
Yeah, it's a great storyline that's followed all the way through. They talked about it a little bit last game, and you can see that hunger, right? As Katsumi plays on even the aggressive agents where she comes in with it. Yeah, both of them are playing with a goal to get to the finals here. Shopify Rebellion will shut this down pretty nicely with a push around the map. Just a pretty easy round that they should be grabbing. Did not suffer too many casualties, but they are in the bonus now. They move around where KP is with this Marshall. Actually, Sonder from us. Bulldog. I'm going to have a hard time. Like 10-year brain coming back, man.
Yeah, you should buy the new line of skins that's coming out, right?
Oh, God. Exactly. Molly's coming out for Flowerful could really delay XSET here as they start to go through the wall.
Even Snakebite to delay on the defense. Well done by Shopify Rebellion so far, but all XSET needs to do is wait for the talking screen to come down. But once it comes down, there's still that utility left behind on the defensive side of Flowerful, who switched away from the A site to the B site. Another Snakebite allowing Benita to swing out. Cascade to push forward, initiating the push from Shopify Rebellion to try to retake the site. But it's going to be definitely the weaponry, the buy that comes in for XSET that proves to be much stronger.
You can almost see that it's just on the fly, right? Reactive plays, everybody's swarm. So many towards backhaul now. This is an irregular hold, but obviously they will be able to do it. Nice and easy. Headshots around Lori and Sounder fall, and Fancilly. The bonus round goes over. Now we get to see how things are gonna pan out. Do we get an operator in the mix? Does not look like it. There was a bit of money on KP, but they might have had a naked op running around, and it's too early to be chancing things like that.
Yep, definitely.
Drop that much money onto the ground. Focus a little bit towards B. They like having this Panday lurk happen towards the map. Looks like Panday may just play towards shops this time. Keep control on mid instead of that A focus. In this dart that comes over first, usually shot from Bob. Looks like they're just going to hold off on that for now and let movement happen. They fired it early before. Now with letting the round proceed a little bit, they can see what Shopify's intentions are. If they can catch them pushed up, right? If they can get them in a little bit of a movement. With that one still, I think, behind the wall and dodged by Lori.
Still cooking some stuff up for Panday. That camera basically trying to counter out onto the Cascade being pushed forward. But Sutter did sneak under that camera first, and there you go. Gets pinged. That pushes away any type of push that was initiated onto Art, and also the trip to watch the flank. Now for XSET. Off the Trailblazer, big flash. Bunny B gets the kill on Delori. A second one, but off timing. Benita comes in for the swing. A second one in. But Bob pushes forward with the Guardian. Avenging her own teammate. Down to a 3 versus 3 with 40 seconds left on the clock. Players are pinned towards the back of the site on the XSET side. The Cage is at least trying to allow XSET to gain control from the back halls, pushing the defenders back from the B lane and allowing this plant to happen safe. Oh, first one to cross over. Pende! The swing over with the Guardian. Up to Fireful now.
2v1.
Walking into the site, crossfire set up by both initiators of XSET. First one spotted by the pillar. Second one still dancing behind the back of the site. But it's just Bob coming out from the pillar on a 1 versus 1. And XSET tie up the game 2-2.
So while the main fight for XSET didn't happen mostly in that back hall, I am calling that the hall pass strat. Like, they have now rushed twice in a row down into that hall with 3 people. It kind of panned out that we're all over the site at that point, but once they gain control of that, it just seems like Shopify is having trouble wanting to get back in. How many are back there? Can we identify? It just seems so troublesome for them right now. It's going to be a B focus again, same setup, but an A gamble for Shopify Rebellion. So we'll see if the hall pass gets ran again here and they get themselves into that back hall for the close, or the far default plant rather. Good mid push from Shopify Rebellion to take space.
Joke's
They don't
over.
commit to it
You're
without
dead.
somebody though.
Yeah, the camera already initiated the push.
Watch your eyes.
But to be clearing space, creating space, Rise with the support from the crunch into the B link. Flash then for a double swing. KP though opens it up. Back for Shopify Rebellion, making it a 4 versus 4. Yeah, we're just using all of our ults. Not too bad though for this eco coming out from Shopify Rebellion. 2 versus 1 somehow, as a weapon should get picked up by Benita. A pin available. Alan Jones spots her.
Oh no.
Gonna be a couple of shock darts coming in. A little bit of damage being done out of that. Nova Pulse just around the corner, stunned by it. Nice name on the ground. Goes for the kill, but can't. Boss swings in, both of them. A little bit jiggly, shaking with the aim. But it's still XSET that wins it overall and take the lead in the first map.
Oh my. That could have been interesting. I could have seen Benita running through the Viper's fight there as well at the end to try and get the last frag. Nicely played to the end by both teams. You can see XSET coming up with that last kill. Bob able to push forward and get the frag. Another B hit. Seems very favorable now for XSET. Again, the gamble was towards A, so Shopify Rebellion had to play a bit of a reactive round there with the amount of members they had. But now this operator for Saunders dodged easily on the pillar. Vans, this finally could slow things down.
No more. Trying to go for the peak dash activated. Pit then initiated on the defense. And all of that B line is fully covered by Benita's defense. Trying to get a lucky kill with the spray, but this should now force XSET to move out in a different portion of the map, but it seems to be the A site.
Viper's Wall could be perfect if Flowerful calls for this correctly. They deny him in already up, and the Molly's just behind this could really shut down XSET.
It's off the alarm bot. Okay, nice reaction there coming out from Rise, but Flowerful still in the back of the site. Catching one with utility in their hands. Unfortunately, Reckoning comes out as KP and Flowerful hold it down. Miscommunication on trying to get the trade onto Flowerful. This might become a flawless as Bunny is now the last player standing out towards Art. A lineup. It's a Congo line looking through. The double swing across, but Bunny for their trouble are still able to get 2 kills. But Shopify Rebellion, now you've mentioned it, Rivington, when they had that money in their favor going into maybe not the first buy round, but the second buy round, that operator did come out real quick.
This hole, I was wondering about the distance. We saw that Harbor Sky combination playing towards the B link for the side of Shopify Rebellion. I was wondering about how far they were playing away from both sites, but obviously Reckoning, no wonder. You can easily help Killjoy shut that site down, proceed to get over there with the team. Really well played by Shopify, expecting XSET to obviously hit that location together. Of course Saunders pulled this.
Nope.
Doesn't work though.
Already a running back available for Bunny B. And they've done this before.
There's another.
Running back ready, storm it down towards the B site. Shopify Rebellion was trying to wait for that, but at least Bonita's finding it. Looks like that was spray through smokes. I just sounded like Scooby-Doo there, I don't know why. But KP answers back. And we have a 4-on-2 situation in favor of Shopify. Yeah, all the space worked out pretty well to gain in the first place, Riv, but in the end, we're having a very strong hold, and it's strong for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah. Dismantled before they really got inside that B-Link frag, and not being able to gain the back calls kind of dismantles what XSET wants to do, how they can set up and work off each other's utilities so well once they're spread out. Shopify Rebellion really just able to take the round. That's Op still in control. That looks like it's going to move over towards A for a round. And we're looking for some ults here. Panda obviously with the uplink and the Cosmic Divide, but Flowerful with the retake. They could play very safe here and try to take a site back if they want to on the side of Shopify Rebellion. What is it, 2,900 going in the hand? So XSET on a low buy next round, really, if they lose this one. They're not going to have too much money with how they're losing right now.
Yeah.
Round 8, take flight.
Seen some nice things coming out from Guardians, though, Rib, so we'll see if it'll happen again.
That's been wild. The transfers we're seeing right now.
You want to fight it?
That Molly misses. That was actually a set Molly that cracked a hit last time. Flowerful would not be there.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I think Buddy B flashed themselves running through the smoke, too.
Spike down
The
B.
toxic screen and going down to Decay with a Molly right on the default line.
Exactly where.
At least XSET's able to move inside the site. Big ult coming out from the neural theft to get information on the last 3 players, but no kills coming out of that information that was gathered by XSET. It's on to Rise. The flash through. Just too many players on a high-low. Shopify. I mean, yes, there's a couple of trades coming in for XSET, but they're still holding a very strong B. There's not too many times we've seen plants on that B side so far.
No, there isn't. And if you looked actually where everybody died besides the B link, it was almost exactly the same locations. The last frag came from the back, the right part of hallway. Shopify knows where to look. There's not too much else to do right now once they get into the site, especially that take. That was just really unlucky how we saw Bunny B's Molly go off on the upper part of that overhang of the archway there. And then Flowerful was really able to attack. Like you said, flash too. So the timeout does get called, I think, to bring that chaos to a standstill so they can really start to orchestrate some rounds here. Shopify Rebellion with this much of a lead. And
yeah.
Coming out of a timeout to an eco, they're probably going to play pretty safe too, because XSET's going to have a plan, are in such control of the game.
And a timeout being called now by Danimal, looking into this round, looking into the forward rounds. Look at these pings. I think what's been working pretty well for XSET here, Riv, is the set plan that they have to get a plant. It works out. It's the maybe trying to get into the site, trying to fight a passive setup by Shopify Rebellion, who are very comfortable playing the retake game. Seems to be their demise. So how do you capitalize on that space that you've gained inside the site to make sure that they stay back? So at least you get a plant.
Yeah. Wingman.
Yeah.
See if you can,
Not going to happen this time.
Buy a wingman. See if you can buy a wingman.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's part of the strat book.
4 peek out. Yeah. They get Hunter's Fury on this. 1 away.
Yeah, next round for sure.
Again, they just stack A with these mollies. They need a hiding. They don't cleared. I don't think they cleared.
Oh, even hides behind the wall. Oh, that one was spotted for sure. Almost feels it was a fake spot here from the Trailblazer, and KP is going to get the ace.
Looks like
an easy one, spraying through all of that with the Phantom as she picks up the first ace of this matchup.
Yeah, they caught up in the crossfire. That was great. Really nicely played. Bonita actually just playing games. Turn and flash, hid, and that was perfect for KP. Didn't even really have to use the mollies in sight. But it direct them over towards that side of screens. I think that's one of the coolest things about B on Pearl, is there's so many ways to section it off and fight it. When you see the Astras play, there's different ways they use the stars. Sometimes just focusing B link in heaven and allowing all the fighting to happen towards that hallway area. The versatility teams use is actually pretty neat. Here we have to see it different from XSET too. Going in, playing reactively, looking to use those stars, and usually plays 4 in the site almost immediately.
All right, I like this. I like this. That changes a little bit here. Break that first tip of utility, and now start going with those fundamentals for the trades. Benita's already down, who's been a nuisance inside this B site before. But as they time this push towards the B site, a reckoning comes out. Catching one off guard, Flowerful gets picked off, but KP's already there for the support. A bubble to come through from the code. Now flank's about to come across here. We actually updrafted behind enemy lines as Bob was ready for that. Whoop, the awareness.
I was wondering if it was coming from Panday or if it was coming from the shot that was going to happen on that flank from Sonder. They're going to go all the way back to A. This flank, though. Panday on the lurk. Oh.
30
That's such a
seconds
hard
left.
fight to take. You almost can't crouch to take that.
This is
It
so
gives
good,
away
though.
too much.
I mean,
It's
look at
such
the
a good
rotate
hold.
back. All of this was heard now
Without
already from
blocking
Pende to say, look,
concealment.
B-site's clear. I heard 2 sets of footsteps. Move into the B-site. Now Pende becomes the late lurk. Here's once again the thunder footing from both players of Shopify Rebellion. So XSET can be ready for this. Look at the forward position for a 2 versus 1 towards spawn. We'll have a flank through again from the back ends.
They're dead.
Boom.
Take what's useful.
Perfect read, perfect play. And I was looking for that too, Riv, the mid-rounding for XSET, which we haven't seen yet in this first half.
That's exactly where I was going,
goes
Van
here.
Silly. The first time we've seen them hit
Hey, the mind
2
melt
sites in a single round. Back and forth to A, then back to B. Really nicely played there. And we just said at the beginning of the round, it's interesting to see how people take B, and they use the entire round to do it. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
XSET playing and stringing things out to run Shopify ragged around the map. Switched up from Shopify on the defense. Those are utilities back to A. They gamble stack towards B. That's always been a wall. This instant high tide coming out so KP can get it back in time, but also slow down anything towards mid. We have not seen a lot of action here this game yet. Now to round 11, it's going to be a pretty aggressive push from XSET to B lane.
Yeah. And that's thanks to the camera set up here by Pende.
Joke's over.
KP trying to push forward now, activating the run it back. It's going to be Bunny B catching KP as she falls. Off though down the B lane. Missed by Saunders. Support coming through. It's still going to be all of the utility of Bunny B just trying to keep the defenders off towards the B link. As Bob now is about to get pinched from both angles. Going inside to smoke the first kill. Saunder trains back into the poison rope. And Benita once again off camera back sight. Still makes it doable here for Shopify Rebellion. Back to rise on a 3 versus 1. Oof, Benita. We can't see these kills, but man, she is a threat
Last
on the B
round before the
defense.
switch.
And that's one of the first times we've seen them hunker down in B. Usually it's kind of a give to the site, retake. They know where we were saying they knew where Shopify was. They gamble stack B. Benita stays in the back. And to have both, I think it was, Flowerful and, no, Lori and Sonder push up the B long as well because they have to reposition the entire site if you're getting flanked by everybody from B link. So really smart reaction there to XSET's play. They gained control of it really quick and were able to push through. Still knocked by Shopify Rebellion. A little more mid play here, more of a default from XSET. One of the slower rounds we've seen them in. Usually they're set up right to walk down B here, and they haven't been to A in quite a few rounds.
Yeah.
Still, that's where the Killjoy utility will sit for this round 12.
Working slowly is the name of the game for XSET. Yes, much lower rounds, but still lots of slow creeps for the plans where they actually want to commit towards a site.
Your trail.
Still slow activation, finally. Seekers is going to spot one behind the boxes. Firewall does have the lockdown to work with, and I like that. Look at that. There was a hot hand coming in from Plaza into the drop to allow now XSET to push into this A site. But keep in mind, this lockdown into Viper's Pit on a retake for Shopify Rebellion. Double Trailblazers from both ends. Lockdown coming down early, and Bob's just going to go for the plant. With this plant, there's no ults coming out here for XSET for the post plant. So getting the pit into the site is going to be very important now for Shopify Rebellion as it pops out right away from Benita. Green goo, green ooze going all across the map onto the staircase of art and also towards A main. It's going to be the spray battle that comes in favor of XSET. Pit now already down, running out of bullets is going to be Bunny B. A 4 versus 2, but this looks very doable. Recon dart in, easy kill in the end. The display, at least in terms of patience, to not worry under the tap of the spike.
Yeah.
I like that XSET stays calm out of this situation.
And the timeout definitely helped. They still suffered a few rounds here. There's still a little bit of bleeding there, but they covered the wound well enough. Nicely done. And like you said, their patience on the last round. They knew it was utility they could delay with, they could pause with, the numbers, the comp was really clean because also Pande was on that big playing once again. Nice dart in, recon up, and they are able to get a 7-5 first half. XSET now move on to the defensive side. Shopify Rebellion seemed to lose a little bit of steam at the end there. Let's see if, well, I should say, let's see who has it as they come into this second half. Honestly, this could be anybody's game still.
Wave crashing.
Now switching roles, XSET on the defense. Shopify Rebellion looking for a play and a dash. Saunders already being damaged. 3 players setting up for that, just spamming with ghosts and frenzies. That means now less players inside the A site. It's only Pande. Big Cage coming up, dancing around at Snakebite to push her out, now being pinged in the back. Boom, down. KP answers back, but Bob's already there for the rescue. The flank back onto Lori. Trying to look for a play through the high tide, trying to get a timing. As we get punished for it though for XSET. The trades continue to happen, and a curveball going into a dome battle in the flank out for Katsumi. A name that we haven't heard too much here in the first half, but a name that has been heard at least tonight for the game changers as she gets the kill in the defuse for XSET to win the pistol.
Yeah, whether she's on an aggressive agent or just a controller where she's feeling comfortable, it's pretty incredible showing. That pistol rounds have sometimes been her to where she stands on the pedestal above a lot and comes up big on that one. We're going to be saying a lot of names tonight, honestly. I think everybody's going to have a standout showing to make this game, to make it to the grand finals, Van Silly. Still testing each other round for round. It is going to be that XSET pistol. We have seen Thrifties. You can't count out the Thrifties. A little bit of a stack push here. Flash, double flash.
Woo! It's big. A double peek from XSET right after, and another flash just blinds everybody.
Going up.
But only does some damage. Trying to catch him on the reloads, but it's not gonna happen. One reloaded fast enough. And now it's just gonna be Saunder lonesome there, and finally joins the rest of her teammates down in the grave. As XSET tied up with the Flawless.
The Flawless indeed. We're building it up. Sometimes there's Thrifties. Burn. Everybody's done. It just instantly, even though they were flashed, they're like, I can see through. What's the setup? What's the defense? Walls out for that left side of the map. It looks like they'll try to work something maybe towards B with this harbor wall since Spike gets dropped here. Just looking to see how many times Bunny B goes for this alt orb, or looks to maybe push an alt towards A. Katsumi's actually pretty close, so that's going to back to be the one who grabs it this time.
Watch
after
out!
The alt. Super aggressive control.
Oh, yeah. Tried to scout for a bit. It almost worked out, but at least here for XSET, all of that utility has been immediately broken. Instant dink coming through the boxes. Saunders down to 50 HP. The heal comes out for Lori, so a little bit of breathing room. But it's still the Vandals here. All 5 players grouping up now for Shopify Rebellion. Down towards a 4-push long and a late lurk here towards Plaza.
The Saunder dash across here. They got the harbor wall up. He hit imminent here for the side of XSET.
Shock darts from Bob. Cameras coming up, just trying to clear out the site. Nothing yet. It's going to be a full rotate out towards the A side because we have this late lurk from Flowerful, who's now going to spot Bunny B, but unfortunately, the shots are not landing. Loses the distance from the Vandal versus a Spectre. And this will now become a huge retake play for XSET into the A site.
Blocking fire.
Playing the map so well right now. Even without finding a kill there, they're able to rotate back, get themselves to safety. Lose Flowerful in the mix here, so they got to be a little careful on how they get it close now.
Nice. Lori already crossed over towards Art, so that allows the back and forth swing the pendulum to allow the kill onto Bunny B. Back to a 4 versus 4. All 4 players behind. One jumping in. The good old fundamental way here for XSET as they fight back for control into the A site. Cage coming up in. One player only spraying. Now make that even a second one being heard. 1 HP off the Sonder. Benita then comes in for the rescue as well on the other end. A Shopify Rebellion managed to salvage this round, and Sonder saves it with 1 HP.
Yeah, they don't allow the 5v4 conversion off Flowerful when that rotate happened. That's super big for Shopify Rebellion. Mentioning how quick they needed to set up that garrison. You mentioned they actually already made it back into Art. Lori was able to really turn that around, and then it was a firing range.
Oh, yeah.
Up towards that side area for Art. Really good trades coming out of the side of Shopify Rebellion to clutch that one through. Where are we going with this? Cosmic Divide's there. They're still playing for this alt orb on that right side, so Katsumi got her ult. They're just going to start focusing back onto Bunny B. So big priority there for XSET.
Yep.
Because it's just Shopify to gain this early info. Where can they go? And how can they make sure this round is theirs? How can they continue this streak? High tide's up. That wall's already set. And they actually have XSET in a pretty good default position to take this site if they decide to rush it. There goes the cascade forward.
Flashing out the camera.
How fast they move, yeah.
Not going to get spotted, though. So the camera's going to come up and it's going to spot all 5 players. Already 3 ready inside the site. One far away on A-Long. Look at all those 4 stars coming down here from Katsumi. That's going to help XSET a lot for this hold into the B site. Now fighting back is going to be the drive-by from Lori, but Bob's already there for the trade-off. Putting Flowerful solo play. Tagged by a drone, forced to fall back. Another star into the ground. Out of position, but Bob gets caught.
You can't let her win around like this.
Still so much utility available for Flowerful. I mean, you talked about so many potential rounds where any of these players can pop off, and I felt it that time. Flowerful almost had that transfer.
We had them yesterday. Likely to have them today. That one stopped. Man, what a round from XSET too. They suffer a bit there, but start that off with the you're on candid camera. Like, absolutely throttling.
I don't think our audience knows about candid camera rip.
Hey, stop it. They know what candid and they know what camera.
Chat, do you know?
Makes sense. It
Chat, do you know the theme?
Chat, press 1 to yes. Just say yes. There's no other option. It's round 17 here. Ultimate for Benita. Where's that focus? Okay, so they are going off towards A or 5.
Come on, let's go!
Ooh, anti-flash.
Oh no! Oh no! They were expecting a flash as soon as the ult came up. And then some flashes coming through, and Bunny B gets the ace stolen, but that's good enough. We'll take those anytime, and XSET regain the lead.
That was a great point to mention too. They were expecting the flash when it comes up. A lot of times you'll hear people also say, don't peek right after you flash, because if they are blind, they can still time you. So don't flash at all, and you catch somebody waiting for that anti-flash mode. What a great follow-up. Katsumi, not cool. But it's all right. It's it's whatever. It's whatever. Timeout for Shopify Rebellion there. Still have some ultimates, as we saw. Benita was not able to Viper's pit that round, but Shopify seemed to be stringing everything together, and then XSET just explodes back into a few of those B-site rounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Punch for punch still.
I want to see more of this, though, Riva. Like, the XSET play so far is very similar to what we've casted last week and over at the VCTs, where for Cloud9, on the defense, every time on this map was just trying to get Zelsis and Orb. But their opponents, what they like to do is just have 3 players just fight forward and not play too far up, rather, like KP did with the spike in her hands. So is there a way to countermeasure that? Try to fight back against that. You can already see her off this timeout. It was looking to lean towards this A side.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
It's coming.
Yeah. I wonder if you just star behind the orb for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Just make them think. Stars are scary, so you don't want to run into that. So be the first one to die early in the game.
Well,
and then somebody like Bunny runs through the star.
Yeah, exactly. It's something you want maybe the star to support even on the defense. for XSET into the later rounds. The Shopify Rebellion want to fight into the orb control that XSET's been doing every round. This time around, though, Bunnybee's just catching so many players off of her flashes.
Force towards A. They still want to make this happen. Viper's Pit really strong on the A side. I feel like B, it just gives a lot of room to walk around and be able to enter that Viper's Pit at any region. Oh, all goes down. Everything about to be timed now. We'll see. This is really on XSET's defense. This should be Shopify Rebellion site.
Trying to spray through the high tide, trying to spray through the Seekers. But the site has been taken now for Shopify Rebellion. Everything's been used. From one ult to the next, KP needing 1 kill for the Reckoning to activate, but she gets hit by a couple of shot darts. Bob and also Rise with their Trailblazer Aldrone combination to allow maybe a spray and a lurker from Panday. The ping onto one, allowing Panday to get a spot up towards the front of the staircase. Cosmic Divide, the timing onto Panday, but it gets immediately traded out. Off around the corner, Bob's just raining around the church. Says the prayers coming out for XSET as a retake ensues on a 3 versus 1. Big flash, Crossfire set up behind the wall. And that is a surgical retake for XSET.
Team Ace.
Wow, the timing for Rise to have the guiding lights coming back up, like, just like that, to get back into the site really helped XSET penetrate there with the defense that Shopify Rebellion had set up. These early frags, like you said, we've just seen so many kills coming from Bunny B, graded or not. And there's one of them flashes that absolutely capitalize on the round for the side of XSET. And really great retake as a team. Like I said, I feel like Viper's Pit, while it's really oppressive and it can push people around, there's just so many ways to enter it on this map that you have to have
no charges
everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how XSET gets in. Just A-focus, okay. They go hard A-focus this time.
Mention it, they wanted to fight that orb.
Set up across the map.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Rim. At least now, Hero Rifle for Sonder, Reckoning to clear out the site. It's going to be an open one for a plant, a retake. We'll have to come back for XSET. But yeah, I agree with you. With the pit coming through, sometimes you just want to play the post plant utility because you have the nanostorms and the snake bites, but you can't really do that if you have to commit to stay inside the pit. But now to run it back, the ping coming through, and that Hero Rifle fell so early into the round, and Bunnybees just feeling themselves into this round. The defuse that comes across, and that's a flawless for XSET. Undefeated so far in the game changers on this map. We're definitely seeing why.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We are seeing why. Even if Shopify Rebellion can get into the site, which you see 2 rounds kill rounds, 2 rounds defuse for the last ones on the scoreboard there. They've figured out how rush in, plant, set up post plant, still doesn't matter. Defuse. So XSET's having the answer. XSET's finding the way to always take down Shopify Rebellion. And I think it's because Shopify now isn't getting they are getting their own out to find out info on XSET, but they're not seeing like, okay, that's where Phoenix is flash, Phoenix wall down, things like that. Everything is just a full util dump as they get into the site, and XSET's able to hit them with it. Mid push here to start. And they're just kind of flexing to get, they use high tide. They're trying to get a reaction out of XSET, but it is quiet in mid this time. Another push for Rise here towards long, and this could have a big effect on the round. Kind of a one and done position, but you could guiding light right out of here, and you see it's counting down. So already used one guiding light to get into the map.
Medina, though, with the lurk onto the B site. Oh my god, through the smoke. Answered back by Bunny B. Like I said, just everything's working out for this player. As Saunders trying to open it up. Nice shot between the eyes from the kunais onto Rise, who falls. And another one spotted towards the flower pots, but Bob is there at the art. Painting down Sonder inside the A site. Hunter's Fury to prevent the plant from happening. But it is going to happen. Trailblazer for the stun, no assists, no kills coming out. A 3 versus 3. A Shopify Rebellion are looking to push towards the back of the site. But it'd be re-clearing. Nobody playing off-site, all within. At a disadvantage.
One enemy.
Out for XSET. The walk down towards the staircase, stopped by Shopify Rebellion, who are able to just answer back into the late round, at least on the post plan of round 20.
The round, it takes a team to win, but a key point, and that was KP's thought to off plant from default.
Yes.
Had that hit, Bob would have been able to stop plant. That would have been complete chaos for Shopify Rebellion. The 4 stacks KP took absolutely helped to solidify that round. It's the little things, Vansili. That was clutch.
Yeah.
The IGL coming up big brain right there. XSET pushing up long here. Protection for Bob. And actually, they're going to head out. Camera's already down, so they have to refocus on how this setup is. As the drone flies from Cascade, it is blind, and they don't actually get much info.
Trying to get a timing here, maybe to allow a spray towards the back of this, from the back of the site. Now traps towards the back. Bunny Bee playing in front of the toxic screen, but Saunders already there, just behind at the spawn. And man, XSET's just landing every single shot through toxic screens, through smokes, but they're still at a disadvantage.
My wire.
Oh yeah.
Panday still alive in the back of the site.
Player standing.
Katsumi so far away, who now has to clutch a 3 versus 1.
Great take by Shopify. You thought the answer was coming in, but the flank as well from Link really started to shut down that defense. Shopify Rebellion working very good as a team on that round. See, like, oh no. I was going to say some things look disjointed, Vansili, and right there we get a look.
Concealment.
But thankfully, it's Flowerful and Benita.
Yeah.
We're on a 2 versus 1. There's still Util. It's about to come down, maybe. Nope, just a walk down from Flowerful. Shopify Rebellion doing their own fundamentals.
The fundamentals, when everything they're doing is starting to work, threatening that flawless record for XSET here on Pearl. With just a few more rounds, 1 to tie it up and a few more to take the lead and run it all the way to the second map. Reckoning is up here for KP. I swear we've seen, I don't know how many, but a lot of Reckonings this game already. It just keeps coming back up. I mean, 19 frags as well, or grabs. You're going to be getting that ultimate a lot if you're using it right away.
And plants. Does she have as many Reckonings as Bunny Bee has running backs?
I reckon.
Oh!
All right, we're going into side. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love it.
No, that's
I
a good
love
point.
it.
It's a good point. KP has the spike. I mean, we're the only ones that are laughing at that.
True.
KP has the spike right now, so you're right. The plants are going as well, mostly to KP here. The focus of the Cove, I think, makes it pretty smart. You can give yourself that, know the timing, and really play off it a little bit better. Push towards A for Sonder. What are they changing?
Yeah, well, I mean, the signature copyright Mimi A Evil Cat Boperator. She's using it towards Flowers to look down towards the staircase of the A site. And this flash is going to get info just to get these players ready. But with that, the slow play, the high tide's already ready. On the attack, Bunny Bee getting the opener. Off shot missed though from Bob. And the Reckoning now allows the space to get gained inside the A site. Rise just wants to dance in it. It's like Avatar. Gravity Well coming through. Dancing around the water now into an open site. Flowerful's on a 3 versus 1.
30 seconds left.
About to get flanked from the staircase at the art. And Katsumi gets the clean tap. XSET now at map point on Pearl.
Match point.
XSET really setting up a defensive wall on that to stay in sight, to try and get those kills. We've been seeing a little bit more of a retake play, but Rise has no way. These 2 frags can get him. Rise got theirs, and Katsumi to end it. It's really a nice defense by XSET. Didn't require too much kind of retaliation utility there. We saw Guiding Light go over, smoke go down from the side of Katsumi, and they were able to just hit that shooting range when Shopify Rebellion came out. Still towards A. Reckoning's used ultimate for Lori.
Yeah.
Could be grabbed somewhere on the map if they do want it, but they have to avoid the off and Sonder.
All right, that's a big piece of the puzzle that's been knocked down now as Bunny Bee falls from the hands of Sonder. Important kill, important frag, important entry that shifts Shopify Rebellion into the A side. It was almost a tale of 2 tales of XSET always trying to hit towards B on their attack. Shopify doing the A site. Getting a little bit of success on the last time they tried B. They're going to attempt it again with Seekers. Panda in the back. Big kill as Sonder dashes in the air. and does get a second one on Delori somehow. Plant Elise comes in. As Panderu saw one running away, and that was just KP on the edge. Bonita in the back of the site. Once again, the double initiators for the retake. A big ult on the attack, though, from Flowerful. So you're going to have to stay back, run away. And as you run away, the footsteps are being heard. That allows to put KP, in a close position with this shorty. And that clock is ticking down. You might have to pull back at this point, unless these kills come in right away.
The wall.
First one the wall, second one in the back. Rise gets it onto Bonita. Flowerful has utility. Oh, okay. Well, it was a shock dart to try to break utility. It's not gonna work. It was a nice attempt there for XSET to think on the fly. But it's still gonna be that clutch thanks to the nanoswarms left behind by Flowerful to allow this match to go into the last map, or the last round rather, of this first map to decide who takes it or if we go into overtime.
One enemy remaining.
That was a sketchy round, Vansili, from everybody. The Bonita putting up the wall, and actually KP didn't have the angle anymore, and then we see his shock dart kill the other. Okay, everybody got it out that last round. No more of that. Here we go into what could be the final round of this first map. Woo! You need some of those. You got a few of those rounds every so often. There's a good dog hit.
Big dog hit indeed. But there's 3 ults available, Riv, for the defender side of XSET. It starts with the run it back. It's once again Bunny B, this time with the Guardian, stopped this time finally by Lori. And here comes the Cove Plant. Another Viper's Pit. We've seen that this has been a really good retake from XSET last time with the double initiator. This time only an Allen drone coming through because Rise already used her Trailblazer super early, and that kill right there allows the Neural Theft to pop the last 3 players. Now we know that Flowerful is stuck here. Oh no, there's a gap in the smoke. Might be doable now for Shopify Rebellion. Closing in are going to be XSET on the Cosmic Divide. The fight is inside the pit. It's a brawl inside as Flowerful comes up for 2 kills. A 2 versus 1. Katsumi with the lurk. Katsumi with the flick. Now there's no time coming through. A Nanoswarm once again. Who brings this across into extra innings.
Overtime.
Vansili, this is of course how the lower finals goes. Shopify Rebellion able to find those last few rounds to bring XSET to overtime.
One enemy
I cannot believe Flowerful here, the triple, the quadra, to actually come up with the final round. And stop Katsumi from the defuse, stop it from the win.
That's the last 2 rounds too from Flowerful.
Yeah, that's incredibly, 24, 16, and 4. Can't overstate it. Across the map. Spike's going over towards B now.
Look at Shopify. Nobody on B.
Maybe play for mid-noise initially. Actually, it's contact for them.
Yeah.
Both guiding lights there for Lori. They quickly take quite a bit of space here, and they're...
Whoa, glass cannon.
To lose Sonder as well. That's a tough one to regain the site with a lot of chaos and potential to cause a stir for XSET here. They're still slowly working towards long.
And they wasn't ready for that. Felt like she was looking at the minimap, the radar.
Yeah.
Tying things up in a 2, should I say a 4v4. And Trailblazers coming out from both ends. KP trying to play behind both walls as you see it posted up on the defensive side. All of XSET looking to pull back for a bit just to get the re-heal up from Rise. Now there's no timing on a toxic screen. There's no timing on the high tide.
This is that no protocol. This is that the play. There's like 3 people behind column. 1 decided to go, right? That might be 30 seconds. This is going to be tough. But they have to go here. Was that an orb grab full, like, read through the round? No, they're not even grabbing the orb. They just have to go.
Oh. And now we also have a late battle inside the A site as Bunny B picks up all that info on A, but KP behind the screens, not being watched, not being covered. And that late alert from Bunny B.
10 seconds left.
might not be doable here. There's no time. Shopify Rebellion will take the lead into this round. As they fought hard from the beginning of this game, they're regaining the lead here, and they have an opportunity to close it on the first map.
Switching sides.
Shopify Rebellion benefiting really big on just a mistimed round there by XSET. Nicely done. Hold the site as well. And they have no problem hitting that flank as it comes in. KP on top still with big frags in that round. To see if Flowerful can answer back here, or Flowerful can do it again here as we answer into this one. Switch happens again. The no operator will come out though. So everybody's going to go for the rifles this round. Push towards long, or for A's rather. That has been doing to cover that orb. And the high tide goes forward. This actually looks to be a pretty big push by Shopify Rebellion, but you don't have to commit. We've actually seen teams slow down and back up onto them.
Instant orb pickup. A plant.
I must wait.
You only necessitate, one more kill to allow a reckoning to happen. For KP as Saunders trying to create space, dashes on the top, and will be able to create that space for a bit, at least for the plant to come down.
Spike planted.
Already, though, all of XSET are around the B site. Instantly, there's only Benita left standing. Blaze wall to come up, positioning. A firing squad once again behind that wall, and there's just too much util to handle. And baby, we're going into a second overtime.
They're vibing. This is so good to see in overtime. This is the mentality that you need. Shopify Rebellion and XSET still having fun after a long day of VALORANT, and this is what it takes. We're in the second half, or second period of overtime, if you want. It could be third, fourth, it seems like, between these teams as it continues to go back and forth, and each one seems definitive for the teams.
Yeah.
Right? If Shopify Rebellion takes one, they just absolutely wipe the site. Whether it's an aggressive take or, XSET will take one. Let's see how XSET does this time on their attack. They look like they're going to play towards mid. And that's just going to be a quick dart over from Bob here to make sure they can push safely towards Art and not get flanked by Art. Quick switch up on Nico.
One way here from Benita, down to 34 HP. Nice snake bite to push everybody back. So heals are going to come out from both, actually only from one end, because Lore is all the way towards the A site. Was still trying to find information with the Trailblazer out towards A main. And look at Bob. Such a passive play from Spawn. Looking for any push towards that B long. And you can definitely see it from Shopify Rebellion. You're not trying to go for that because all of that utility is still on this B side. Still could be very useful into the mid round now.
Super patient about what they're taking, but also leaving behind quite a few breadcrumbs. You can see Panday still in mid, able to work this Art if they want it. And waiting for that dart to come out from long for recon here. So going to be walking into a full trap of Flowerful at this point. If they do choose, it could be a quick rush through that middle to Art.
30 seconds left.
No, the stars go down, Vansilli. That's the cue.
Oh, yeah.
8 out.
And the nanoswarms come out a little bit too early. Oh, my God. That was a little gap due to double smokes. Everybody's just spotting toes here at this point. At the beginning of this round. And XSET are looking pretty good here. Panday catches off guard, catches two off guard. As that may seal the round for XSET. Lori and Benita, time for them to fight. But the buddy system still comes out for XSET to put now Lori on a 2 versus 1. 2 stars on the ground. Double flashes available for the defender. As Lori looks for the first tap. Gravity well onto 1. Can't find the second. As there you go, you know exactly where both players are. Bob at the pillar because of the recon, and of course, they spotted Katsumi earlier on. Just too much to handle.
Switching sides. Match point.
I don't want to say anything, Riv. I'm just going to let this happen. XSET back in the lead.
Last player.
Wow. That double overtime, double hopscotch through the door without a weapon out. That's a big lesson learned right there. We'll move on.
That was like
round
style.
28. Round 28. Deploying drone's gonna come out quick here. A lot of space being taken by XSET, but they actually have to move on B if this is where Shopify Rebellion is going to end. XSET is gonna walk into Flower full 1, 2.
It's Flowerful once again. Finally stopped by Katsumi. All of this so far is like, oh! Okay. We're still trying to find a third one there, but finally gets stopped by Lori. Beginning of the round, Shopping Fire Billion still looking for that conditioning towards that B-long. Same utility being used. Now we're about to cross the finish line. As Saunders breaks the trap, looks for the swing in the back, and Pande falls.
Planted.
Bob now spotted by the Trailblazer. This is going to be nearly impossible. Recon dart out in 3. You already have Saunders all the way up towards Heavens, and that will not be watched by Bob. She's going to move in unaware. Shot dart's moving forward towards that pillar, and there's that timing on that spray. And Saunders ties up the game once again. A third overtime into the game. Rip, you talked about how we needed tenacity from both of these teams. They played a long day of VALORANT, and it's going to get even longer tonight.
Hope everybody's got their popcorn. Like I said, we could easily be going to a game 3 here. Thankfully for Pam, we'll have a break in between. Saunders closing that one out. It is going to be another overtime, and the timeout will be called. Just look at the scores right now here. Go through your head as we kind of discuss what's going on. XSET just coming off of their set, ready to play. Shopify Rebellion was able to watch those games, and still both teams are just level in match right now. Whether it happens to be with the strategy they're running or mistakes in the round, when they need to keep it alive, they keep it alive. So let's bring that and start with it on each round. Right at this point, it's just coming down to these last fights that each team kind of mistakenly gets themselves into, and you can't be doing that in overtime. So I think there also is a little bit of the stamina draining, as they have quite a bit to play here, but they are giving it their all, and it's been amazing to see. Giving us a third overtime between Shopify Rebellion and XSET here on Pearl. And XSET so close to losing the perfect score too, right? Shopify Rebellion is just knocking at that door, saying, oh yeah, we're about to take this away.
Such rebels.
Pressure. Such rebels. You can tell. You can tell.
This round on the attack, though. Bob not pulling out the operator. 4 players leading up towards the long B. We had jump spots coming in from both ends. Saunders with a Vandal herself. She's trying to ADS from the back of the halls. About to go for the jump spot. Not sure she saw anything. Oh, well, that she definitely saw some people there. So there you go. Off that timeout, going back to the fundies, making sure that we're breaking KJ utility towards the front of the B site. And off this, usually it's just going to try to activate Bunny B. Off at Trailblazer towards the back holes, but Saunders is in that position.
Oh, dash used.
Dash has been used. Benita trying to spray through the walls herself. As Pande is going on a late lurk on the B link. She's going to hear the footsteps onto 1, and that's being pinged out by KP. So KP knows that there's going to be a lurk somewhere. High tide. The hit's going to come after the high tide comes down. Benita going for the jiggle peek by the Jenny. Now that she brings it up, the snake bite comes down. Saunders in the back of the site with that crossfire. Big flash though pushes both players away. But KP's there for the support. Still XSET opens up the site. Aware of all the positions.
Recalling my 10 seconds
9
left.
seconds left with the clock. What a late push coming out from XSET.
Just hitting it with a few flashes. Almost a contact style as everybody rushed through the close portion of the wall, right? Really covering the flanks, anchoring the shots. That was impressive in how they orchestrated that quickly.
Yeah.
It looked like they were kind of just stuck behind the wall forever.
Everything's
back.
Been recalled instantly. We're using both of the stars because it's not planted for long.
Tear it down.
Now we're closing in. It's halfway. Katsumi, though, is going to stat pat moving through, not allowing Flowerful to get the spike at half. And XSET once again take the lead to continue the hopes of getting a perfect record on Pearl.
Oh my God.
In this Game Changers.
That was neat. That was the first time we saw them not do the flame wall. Like you said, it's Bunny B's objective to get to that back hall and just clear it out, but right into sight. Quick right hook there. And everybody was able to make it happen. Now Shopify Rebellion with the answer. And they are all focused towards this B site. Again, when they have switched sites, they've switched it pretty drastically, but we haven't had that many fakes this game. I think they'll sell.
Oh.
This
push looking to fight forward.
This push, though.
Alonso's going to catch him, though. Bob gets caught, and Lauren draws them both.
No way. Well, how do you drone? You just drone there and think, no, they're not here. That's wild, man. Silly. That's wild to me. They go in. They're going to get this plant down. It's going to be 3 now coming in from XSET, but they have a tall task ahead of them. KP plants. They're going to be away from Reckoning, but both don't matter right now. It's just about to go. Here we go.
Yeah, 2 kill seekers to open up the site. Retake attempt coming out from XSET as Katsumi's still far behind. She still had to place her stars down. So we're going to try to block line of sight on a retake at least. 2 smokes are about to come up. Sonder just holding behind the wall, picked off by Bunny B.
XSET.
Now we're fighting inside of this smoke.
One enemy remaining.
Only 1 left to go. And we have another overtime.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Switching sides. Here we go again.
The crazy part, yeah, exactly. And the crazy part about this too, it's like there's no real clutch plays or anything that's happening that's intense. They're just doing so good on post plans for both of these teams on the attack.
1 inning.
And a few of those openings.
Placing swarm grenade.
No, I agree though. You have to be aggressive on these post plans because if you're not, it's literally the other team just util dumps into the site, especially on B. That's all they really have a chance to play right now is these util dumps. Quick it's gonna happen again. 2 misses.
Dash activated though. That's 3 stars placed down and both smokes being used up. Trying to get a timing off. Unfortunately, no hits there onto Bunny B. But that one will land at least onto Bob. A big start for Shopify Rebellion to get the lead into the round. Blaze Wall about to come down, and Benita could line up 2 right here. Instant trade comes out. Lauren for the support. The off once again still missing though as Panda makes it a 2 versus 2. Late lurk coming out from KP, but unfortunately Panda's still alive. So that trap's gonna give the position away.
One enemy
she
remaining.
jumped a hurdle. It's the Olympics, doesn't matter. Flowerfall still gets the kill no matter what on Depende. KP comes in for the flank. And Shopify Rebellion regain the lead.
Switching sides. Match point.
Wow. Oh. XSET under pressure. The perfect score. We'll say it again, but it's about to happen. And that is a possibility. It looks like it's going to be the A work here. Overtime, I don't even think, has visited A this time. We've had a bit of mid-play, but this B site has been the focus.
These scores
see where they go.
Are insane.
They are absolutely absurd.
The frags, the assists, but he's got 20 assists.
The triple doubles on the scoreboard, honestly, they're just eating them for breakfast right now.
This rate's going to be triple triples.
Hard. Triple triples. Let's get it.
Poison's off.
Round 32 of our lower grand finals here, or lower finals. And they still play it slow. Shopify Rebellion waiting for XSET to make a bit of a move here. But this is the farthest back we've really seen Shopify play. Backside A, backside into B link. And a little up on B. Just to get some audio cues before it happens. Minutes,
jump
fans.
spots.
This could be a pressure cooker round.
Yeah.
They're all spread out. I feel like we're going to see the clock going right on this round.
Ooh, that's a great opener. It's not going to go to the last seconds after that. Look at the shift coming out from Shopify Rebellion. All 5 players now moving in towards the A site. Looking for a split. Benita's still lurking. Gonna hold down the art, especially with that wall coming up here. It's just for her to cover the art, do a late lurk while the rest are pushing inside the site.
30 seconds left.
Sumi has other things to say. Looking for the heal from her teammate as a plant's about to come down. Down through the cove, back into a post plant setup. Reckoning to run that clock down. KP even answers back from the church onto Katsumi. We're not playing as far back as we really wanted to. Glorious looking to move forward and catching Bunny B off the curveball. High-low setup. Tip of the gun, peeking out, but Rise is dancing around, dodging all the bullets. A 3 versus 2. This might be it, though. Shopify Rebellion looking to close it in. One more to go. Finally to get it done.
Attackers win.
Shopify Rebellion answer back and break the streak of XSET on Pearl.
Shopify Rebellion absolutely coming back, weathering the storm, and that was tough, right? If XSET's not going to be throwing the same thing at you over and over again, oh, I got to move over to the right, the same thing at you, then you need to be switching it up. Honestly, it just, the flow from each team there, you can see where they were having their pain points. You can see where they corrected their pain points, and it came down to an absolute slugfest. We talked about the scores. The desk will go over it, but there was some star power from everybody in that game, and we expected it from the early rounds. Shopify Rebellion tarnished that XSET Pearl score.
Riv, I'm going to follow you here. So remember when we talked about the candid camera and the theme song, and there's only 2 people in the chat that put number 1. Now I'm going to follow you for this one, and let's see if people in chat knows this one. I'm going to join you with this. It's time to go for a break, right? And I really need to buy you. So I'll catch you all after the break for Shopify Rebellion against XSET. It's happening right after this.